welcome you to the Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools webinar. We really appreciate you joining us today and hope that you learn a lot from this webinar. My name is Alex Scheibel, and I'm the Writer and Policy Analyst at Healthy Schools Campaign, which is the organization that's hosting today's webinar. We'll tell you a little bit more about Healthy Schools Campaign in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to review some of the basics for today's webinar. First, this webinar is generously sponsored by Kaivax Cleaning Systems and ProTeam, and we truly appreciate their support of this webinar and making it possible for us to bring this information to you. And in addition to this webinar, we will be hosting one more webinar this summer, and this webinar will specifically be on completing the Green Clean Award applications for 2011. And we hope you are able to join us on that. Also, we'd love for you to join the ongoing conversation that's taking place around these webinars. You can follow us on Twitter using this hashtag to read more questions and answers that are coming in related to this webinar, and feel free to send in more of your own questions as well. Today's webinar is going to run for approximately an hour, and a recording of the webinar will be available on our website, and we will send out a link to that website following the webinar, probably in a couple days once we get the PowerPoints and everything loaded on the website. And also, if you could just take a couple minutes at the end of the webinar to complete a quick survey. We'll save around 15 minutes at the end of the webinar for a question and answer session. And you can ask questions in two ways. You can type a question into the question box, which is located on your control panel, and click the send button. Feel free to do that at any point during the presentations today. We'll collect those questions and save them for the Q&A session. Also, you can virtually raise your hand by clicking on the hand button on your control panel. And we can go ahead and unmute your phone, and you can ask your question over your phone line if you would rather ask it in person. So we have a great lineup of speakers for today. We have Mark Bishop joining us, as well as Rex Morrison and Bill Blumenthal. So we are excited to hear from all of them today. And Bill and Rex are going to be speaking about some of the great work that they're doing in their schools, and we just want to let you know that there's an opportunity to highlight the work you may be doing in your school, and that's the Green Clean Award. And it's an annual award hosted by Healthy Schools Campaign, the Green Clean Network, and American Schools and University. And the 2011 application was just posted this summer. And again, we will be hosting a webinar on August 23rd to go over how to complete that application. Next slide, please. So we look forward to having you with us today, and I would like to hand it over to my colleague, Mark Bishop.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Mark Bishop. I'm Vice President of Policy and Communications at the Healthy Schools Campaign. And just for a little background, Healthy Schools Campaign is a non-for-profit organization. We work on programs and policies to support improving environment, health, nutrition, wellness in schools. And green cleaning has been a focus of ours nearly since the beginning of Healthy Schools Campaign, going on 10 years now. Before we get started, I'm going to do a quick poll just to get a little bit of feedback from people. So I'm going to start by just asking a quick question. So here's my question for you. What do you say is the most important factor when considering a school cleaning program? Take a quick look: cutting costs, providing a healthy learning environment, implementing a green cleaning program, establishing effective standardized management program, or cleaning isn't that important. I hope that's not the answer that we'll hear, but let's see. We'll take a few moments to answer that question, and I'll tell you a little bit about Healthy Schools Campaign and our work. We'll take 10 more seconds for those of you who haven't voted yet. All right, it seems pretty clear. All right, I'm about to close. 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Okay, it looks like 75% of you said that providing a healthy learning environment is going to be the most important factor when considering a school cleaning program. And I think that's great, and I think that means that everyone should be looking forward to a great presentation today from our presenters. So now, let me continue about Healthy Schools campaign. Our green cleaning program, we started, we're doing our work in Chicago public schools. And back in 2004, we were doing pilot projects with the third largest school district in the Chicago public schools. And we were able to implement pilot projects that ultimately led to changing district policy and eventual adoption of a green cleaning program for the entire district. In 2007, we implemented a green cleaning policy in the state of Illinois, and that led to our publication of the Quick and Easy Guide to Green Cleaning in Schools that brought our work to promote green cleaning programs and policies across the country. Our Quick and Easy Guide to Green Cleaning in Schools is really our platform, how we talk about education and engagement around green cleaning. And in addition to the guide itself, we have a website, quarterly newsletters, ongoing promotions, engagements, and as you all know, a webinar series. It is all part of our multimedia and kind of our extensive outreach to really increase the knowledge and awareness around the importance of green cleaning. And with that, we partner with organizations throughout the country to really help engage school stakeholders, from teachers to principals to administrators to advocates in your community. We want to make sure everyone realizes their role in making sure we have a healthy environment for our kids. So what is green cleaning? Now, from our perspective, green cleaning is cleaning to protect health without harming the environment. We clean the building because we want to protect public health. We clean a building and we clean our schools for the same reason that we clean our hospitals. We want to make sure that we're not spreading disease, that students can come to school and be healthy and learn. And then green cleaning takes that one step farther by making sure we're not harming the environment, and we're doing what we can to have a healthy and safe environment inside the school as well as outside of the school. Now, when we talk about green cleaning, or I should say green products, are actually defined. A lot of people think, green is a very vague term, which it can be, but under a presidential executive order 13423, there's a very clear definition that says products and services that reduce the health and environmental impacts compared to similar products and services used for the same purpose. And the reason why this is so important is because we want to make sure people know that we are focused on providing, at minimum, the exact same level of quality, the exact same level of service as a traditional cleaning program. We're not talking about sacrificing health, sacrificing cleaning. We're talking about making sure we provide a clean, healthy environment that satisfies all of the needs of the school. And why do we care? We like to outline 5 top reasons, and by no means are these all of them, but we want to make sure we help students stay healthy and learn. We want to make sure that they stay in their seats, that they are attending as often as they can, and we are making sure that they are healthy and ready to learn, which is what schools are meant to be doing. Second, we want to make sure we're protecting the health custodial staff. It is our custodial staff that are the front line in protecting our health, and they're on the front line of having exposures to the chemicals that are in a cleaning product, in a cleaning program. And by moving to a green cleaning program, we are protecting these individuals and making sure that they have a safe work environment. Third is we want to increase the lifespan of our facilities. We have billions of dollars invested in our schools, and we want to make sure we are taking steps to maintain and to ensure the greatest longevity of our schools by using products and services that maintain finishes, that don't wear down surfaces, and ultimately help the buildings last longer. Fourth is preserving the environment. We want to make sure that we are doing what we can for a healthy environment. Janitorial services produce billions of pounds of paper, and they have a huge impact in the number of chemicals that are produced every year. And by switching to greener products, fewer products, more recycled products, we can have a profound impact on the environment. And finally, last but not least, and you're going to hear a lot about this today, is fiscal responsibility. Ultimately, a green cleaning program, it may not make sense at first blush for people who don't understand what a green cleaning program is, but the reality is a green cleaning program is about being resourceful with the resources that we have and ultimately using our budgets in a more effective manner and being more effective with what we have. So I'm going to take a step now and introduce our first of our 2 speakers. But before I do, I'm actually going to ask one more question. And the question that I have is, when evaluating cleaning equipment, what factor do you consider to be most important? So we'll take a few moments to answer that question while I introduce Rex Morrison, our first speaker. Rex Morrison is the former housekeeping training coordinator for Washoe County School District in Reno, Nevada. He wants to point out that, unlike what it said in the opening slide, he is retired happily. So Rex has pioneered the process for cleaning for healthy schools in 100 schools in Washoe County and has been helping school districts across the nation implement the program to save money and jobs while enhancing the health of their indoor environment. Most recently, Rex formed the Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools Consortium, so we are excited to have him here today. And let me really quickly close the poll. 10 more seconds. And it is closed. And let me see. When evaluating cleaning equipment, it seems like efficacy is the top priority. And it seems like it makes sense that we want to make sure that we're doing a good job with what we have. And that's part of that, making sure we're using our resources properly. I'm sure Rex will have a lot to say about that. Now, Rex, I'm going to give you the virtual gavel, and Rex, will you welcome? We're excited to have you.
Okay, I'm excited to be here. Hello, folks. I want to welcome you all to this webcast, and I want to especially thank the Healthy Schools campaign and Bill Blumenthal for his second part in this webinar. In this session, you'll learn about process cleaning and how you'll be able to save thousands of dollars off your custodial budgets and clean up your schools for health. My name is Rex Morrison. I'm the founder of Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools and the Consortium president. Washoe County School District's field supervisor, retired. I was the State of Nevada Employee of the Year. In 2004, the ISSA Custodial Supervisor of the Year. In 2006, the Cashman Good Government Award winner. And then Washoe County School District's Most Outstanding Employee. And why did I receive such recognition? It was all because I developed an easy-to-learn and implement cleaning process that fixes schools and broken budgets. Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools, PCHS, is built upon a combination of specialization and new technology. Process cleaning is a management-based cleaning system set in a K-12 environment with emphasis on cleaning student and staff spaces for health. It's a nonprofit 501c3 corporation made up of school employees from around the country helping other school employees. We truly are schools helping schools. A few months ago, school custodians in over 175 schools from around the country gathered together to form this nonprofit consortium. We were all in the same predicament. We needed to reduce thousands of dollars off our custodial budgets and at the same time clean up our schools or provide clean and sanitized student and staff spaces. Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools is owned and managed by this consortium. We truly are the safe alternative. We're schools helping schools. In the slide, Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools, a history, I want to start with saying it starts with you asking yourself a few simple questions. Question number one, does my school district have a set standard for cleaning classrooms and restrooms? Question two, is every custodian in every school cleaning a classroom and a restroom the same way, using the same simple steps, achieving the same average times? Another question, is there a management system in place at my school district that holds every custodian accountable? When I was a custodial field supervisor for Washoe County School District, we had 100 schools and 450 custodians. We had 450 ways we cleaned a classroom and 450 ways we cleaned a restroom. Does that sound familiar? Another question, is there a simple documentation process to ensure daily custodial accountability? And then, are the students, teachers, and staff receiving the highest level of cleanliness at the lowest level of cost? The answer to most of these questions when I began forming the foundation of process cleaning was absolutely no. We just didn't have much of that. What we had in the slide chaos and confusion. That's basically what we had. We had chaos and confusion. We're going to go into the two forms of management in a minute, but let's talk about chaos and confusion for a second. Like I said, we had 450 custodians and 450 ways we clean classrooms and restrooms. 10 years ago, I was the head custodian of a little elementary school called Desert Heights Elementary. I knew there was a better way to clean our schools for health and to reduce our budget. I just needed the time to figure it out. So I asked my principal if I could change my day position with one of my night custodians to start working on some field studies around how we cleaned our schools. These are the things that I found within my district. We had no set standard, no real management program in place. We had no accountability. We had no training program. In short, we had a dirty school with a broken school budget. My challenge, to apply the study of time and motion to the way we clean. Most custodians clean in big circles. They're always taking the job to the tool instead of the tool to the job. They're always stopping and starting. And I found every time you stop and start, you lose time, motivation, and concentration. After a few months of working on time and motion studies at my little elementary school, I found that the three custodians, me being one of them at night, we were done by 8 o'clock. We didn't get off until 11:30. And so I found that by organizing the cleaning process, it really tremendously saved us time. And I voluntarily reduced my staff by 1/3. After I did that, I went to the school board, and I gave them this pitch. I said, you give me 12 schools in 1 year, and I'll save you $240,000 and give you cleaner, more germ-free student and staff spaces at a savings to the taxpayer. As of this date, in Washoe County School District, they're saving $886,000 a year, and that's every year with process cleaning for healthy schools. Now let's talk about the two forms of management. One is complaint-driven. And I'm sure you've heard this many, many, many times before. In fact, you might have made this statement yourself as a custodial supervisor. I want you to clean your area, and I don't want any complaints. Well, you know what? After a while, you're not going to get any complaints because the teachers have stopped complaining. And so complaint-driven management is really not the style that I recommend. My first day of being a custodian, I was so excited. I waited 8 months on a list to be a substitute custodian. Really wanted to work for the county. I really wanted to work for schools. And so after 8 months, I got that magic phone call and said, "Okay, show up. You're going to be a substitute custodian tonight." So I'm all happy and I'm suited up and I'm ready to go. And so I get there 5 minutes early and I meet the custodian, and there he was at the door, the head custodian, and he gave me a set of keys. Then he took me and he showed me a custodial closet. Okay, here's the closet. These are your tools. Then he took me and showed me the area that I was going to clean. And then he told me, okay, I want you to clean it and I don't want any complaints. And that was it. I had no training. I had no direction. I had no idea how to do what I was asked to do. I was thrown into chaos and confusion, and I was expected just to figure it out myself. Isn't that typical today of how a lot of school districts do their cleaning? They leave it up to the custodian to figure it out. Let's look at quality-driven management, which is much better. I was a public sector employee, but I always had a private sector work ethic. With process cleaning, we can not only compete with the private sector, we can do a better job and a cheaper job. Are you worried about privatization and outsourcing? By doing more with less, you won't have anything to worry about. So let's keep in mind complaint-driven, quality-driven, and I want to go to the slide that says, if you clean for health, appearance will follow. Let's look at the process cleaning for healthy schools, PCHS value. The alternative to privatization, outsourcing, and broken budgets is doing more with less. The average square footage a custodian can clean, set by ISSA and other staffing studies, is 22,000 square feet. Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools brings that number to an average of 27,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet. And in some schools with minimal budget, it was 45,000 square feet without sacrificing cleaning for health. Let's look at the slide, the nuts and bolts of process cleaning for healthy schools. Process cleaning is the study of time and motion, simply applied to the cleaning of a classroom or a restroom. These same principles can be applied to convalescent homes, cruise ships, airplanes, healthcare, and the hotel industry. The tasks are stacked like a row of dominoes, and every cleaning function builds into the next or future cleaning responsibility. It's part of the magic of this program. By following the principles of time, motion, and applying them to a K through 12 environment, with a few minor twists and turns, I was able to set up a cleaning program that really works. It starts by training the trainer on how to perform process cleaning for healthy schools. Now, to break it down into its simplest form, process cleaning is divided into just a few cleaning tasks or functions. First of all, I'd like to talk about the primary function, cleaning the classrooms. Let me go through the steps of cleaning a classroom. You lock the door, you clean the door glass, you disinfect the door handles, light switch, and telephone. You disinfect all student desktops. You check the soap, the paper, you write it down. You clean the sink and the countertop. You empty the trash of pencil sharpeners. You pick up any large item. A backpack vacuum cleaner won't suck up. You clean the whiteboards and the blackboards. You dust the room if it falls within your designated cleaning area. That's the primary process. You start with a 32-gallon trash can barrel on rollers with a wraparound tool caddy, and you stock it with just enough tools and products for an 8-hour shift. You keep it light and mobile to maneuver around the obstacles of a standard classroom. You take the tool to the job and not the job to the tool. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. I want you to keep that in mind. You take the tool to the job, not the job to the tool. Have you ever looked down the hallway and seen a custodian work, and he's got this big, giant custodial cart, a big blue cart parked in the hallway, and he'll walk all the way into the classroom, grab a trash can, walk all the way back out to his trash receptacle, empty it, and walk all the way back in and put that trash can back where it belongs. Well, that's not taking the tool to the job. That's the reverse. It's taking the job to the tool. So we don't want to do that. Now, when he's done with his primary process, we want him to take that cart, the primary cart, and we want him to restock it right then. We don't want to wait to the end of the night or before you go to work to restock your cart. The average custodian will lose 15 to 30 minutes before work just stocking and restocking and getting ready. And that cleaning time lost is costing you thousands of dollars off your custodial budget each year. Now, secondarily, vacuuming. Okay? You want to vacuum all classrooms using a backpack vacuum following the loop vacuum method. And it takes approximately 5 minutes a room. And that's an average 800 to 1,200 square foot room to vacuum a room with a backpack vacuum cleaner. Approximately 7 minutes to primary a room. Now, when you vacuum, use the loop vacuuming method. If you're not familiar with that, let me explain it. All classrooms are set up in rows. Start at the back of the room. Plug in according to how the rows are going, north to south, east to west. Split the rows in half. If you're left-handed, vacuum to the right. If you're right-handed, vacuum to the left. When you get to the end of the row and you turn around, you'll be back on your comfortable side. Now finish the row. If you're using an upright vacuum, the bottom line is you're losing huge amounts of time. Let's look at sanitation. Cleaning of the restrooms. The sanitation process, use a spray and vacuum restroom cleaning machine and clean all your restrooms for health. Why do I say spray and vacuum restroom cleaning machine? Because it is the fastest, the easiest, most efficient way to clean a restroom. And it's so simple and fast. It's 1 minute per porcelain fixture. It's so simple. You spray your cleaning agent on with low pressure, starting at the top, going to the bottom. Then you use high pressure water to spray it all off down to the floor, and then you vacuum it up. It's 1, 2, 3, and you're done. You just can't get any easier. I want to talk about stage 2, process cleaning for healthy schools, the concept. Process cleaning for healthy schools is a 12-day implementation program if there's anyone out there interested in implementing this program in their district. The first 2 days, we perform a walkthrough of each school to assess and analyze your staffing needs per school based upon the implementation of process cleaning for healthy schools. After this, we're able to provide you with about a 40-page Excel spreadsheet that tells exactly what your investment cost will be and what your savings will be using process cleaning for healthy schools. After that, we take the first 5 days and we use that to train the trainer. It's all hands-on. We're there, we're cleaning. We teach the trainer everything he needs to know about process cleaning for healthy schools, from the management component right down to how to clean a classroom, restroom, and school facility. Once he's done with that, the last 5 days, we take the trainer and we work together with the trainer and we set up process cleaning for healthy schools at a prototype school of your choice. And after that, we use aftercare and follow-up. So to sum that up, after a 12-day program, you'll not only know what it's going to cost, what you're going to save, what tools you need to invest in. You'll have a trainer that's fully trained in the implementation of process cleaning, a school fully implementing the program, and then all the aftercare and the follow-up that you're going to need. It's hands-on training, and training the trainer really makes sense. Now, let me go into how I started. 10 years ago as a head custodian, like I said, I started at an elementary school and began developing a program that took me out of the dark ages of cleaning into a new and exciting age of developing cleaning processes for health. It is based upon scientific testing and evaluation. My challenge was to take a system designed around a 10-story office building and make it fit a school environment using the most modern tools and techniques. I want to talk about the 5 pillars of process cleaning. What really props this program up? First of all, I want to talk about what puts the green in green cleaning. If I am going to use a cleaner, I want to use a cleaner that's made from plant-based biodegradable cleaning ingredients. I want to use a cleaner that cleans with no harsh chemical, fumes, or residue. And I want to use a cleaner, and I think, to me, this is the most important, one that has never been tested on animals. Green, why? Because it's the right thing to do. I also clean with steam vapor systems and ionized water. Let's talk about the second pillar, and that's microfiber. Why do I use microfiber? Because it works. Microfiber makes it happen. The third is backpack suction vacuuming technology. Why? Because it's 50 to 80% faster than upright vacuum cleaning, and it changed the cleaning industry. Backpacks are no-nonsense high-tech. I want to talk about spray and vacuum restroom cleaning. It's 50% faster, it cleans healthier, and it's changing the cleaning industry. If you're using traditional hand cleaning in cleaning your restrooms, you're losing twice the time and leaving behind twice the germs. How spray and vacuum works. Again, just to recap, it's so simple. It's 1, 2, 3. You spray on your cleaning agents on low pressure. You turn to high pressure. You'll wash it all down to the floor. You take the vacuum and you vacuum it up. 10 years from now, we're going to look back and no one will be hand cleaning a restroom. Spray and vacuum technology is truly the future of restroom cleaning. And then the 5th technology pillar that holds up process cleaning is ICM, Integrated Cleaning Measurement Systems, and ATP testing. Now we can use science to back up what we say. If we say it's clean, we can use science to back that up. It's the cutting-edge technology that has been provided by the industry. I want to go to the slide, process cleaning for healthy schools, the value. Okay? Like I said before, it's the alternative to privatization, outsourcing, and broken budgets. It truly is doing more with less. Today, many schools are stuck in the dark ages of cleaning. They're 50 years behind the technical curve. Process cleaning for healthy schools will help you step into a new and exciting age of specialization, systems application, technical advancement, and scientific measurement. The result, cleaner, more germ-free student and staff spaces at a savings to the taxpayer. I want to thank you for your time. This is Rex Morrison, Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools Consortium. Thank you.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you for that, for your presentation. We're going to now have our next presenter, but before we do, I'd just like to take a quick poll of individuals. The question here is, what are the most important features when selecting a vacuum for your cleaning program from your perspective? Is it HEPA filtration, lightweight, backpacking, costs, or other? And I would like to introduce Bill in the meantime. So Bill Blumenthal is a vice president of the nonprofit Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools Consortium. Blumenthal is currently the custodial supervisor for Douglas County School District in Nevada. During his tenure, he was instrumental in converting the district to process cleaning for healthy schools. And unlike what it said on the opening slide, Bill is not retired, which I think possibly he wishes he were right now. Having said that, I'm going to close the poll. And it looks like the number one thing people look for is HEPA filtration, followed closely by backpacking. So I will share that. So having said that, Bill, I'm going to offer you the virtual floor, and I look forward to hearing your presentation. Bill.
Okay, thanks, Mark, and thanks, Rec. I enjoyed both of your presentations, and process cleaning truly is a great system, and it truly works. I'm going to spend my portion of the webinar today going over the journey that our school district, Douglas County School District, went through to try to give everyone a feel for what it's like to actually make a change to process cleaning for healthy schools if you're a school district considering looking into it in the future or just want to learn more about it. This brings us to my first slide on the screen, a need for change. There can be many reasons a school district starts looking for different ways to organize their custodial department. But for our district, there can be, in early 2008, we started looking for a more standardized method of cleaning for our custodial department to improve cleanliness and to save on overall budget expenditures. We also wanted to increase overall communication between departments and to improve morale for the entire custodial department. Next slide. A question that usually comes up is, why did our school district look into process cleaning in the first place? How did the change come about? Our school district first wanted to improve the level of cleanliness and appearance at all the schools district-wide. As with a lot of other school districts nationwide, our school district was in a position a few years ago where there was no set system of cleaning or a standard to measure cleanliness at each site. We had some schools that were really clean and some schools that needed some improvement. The first part of this process was to find a new method was to see what other school districts in the area were doing with their custodial programs. That's when our district officials met with representatives from Washoe School District to talk about process cleaning. We liked the standardization. We also liked all employees at each site being on the same page by cleaning in the same manner at each facility. In 2009, our school board added the custodial supervisor position to oversee the entire custodial department and implement the Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools program. One of our obstacles we faced as a district was that all 11 schools ordered different custodial products at each site and the support facilities. This was a huge obstacle to overcome because of the cost implications of it. We did not have a district purchasing agent looking at what was being bought for specifically the custodial department on a regular basis. There was minimal price comparisons being done with vendors to ensure we were getting the best pricing possible. Some chemicals brought into the schools were not being tracked, and we didn't have proper MSDS sheets for products, which is an OSHA violation. Another one of the obstacles we faced as a district was that the custodians at each site had their own cleaning methods with no set program, limited supervision, and limited training. There wasn't much training going on at the different schools, no set system of cleaning, No daily logs or checkoff sheets at most of the sites. There was also limited or no night supervision for employees. Morale was at an all-time low because the majority of the schools had inadequate or outdated equipment at each site. Some of the equipment at the different schools was outdated and not working. Part of our district's commitment to raising the standards at each school was to purchase new cleaning equipment for some of the outdated equipment at each site. Our last main concern we needed to deal with was our district wanted to be fiscally responsible and save on budget expenditures where it could. Next slide. The right tools for the job. These tools include primary carts, sanitation carts, microfibers, spray and vac restroom cleaning, activated water, backpack vacuums, and ICM, integrated cleaning measurement. Part of implementing this program, you'll need to purchase tools to make the custodian's job easier while cleaning more square footage. These products are not expensive or brand specific. This equipment includes a primary cart, which is a 32-gallon trash can with a barrel caddy, feather duster, microfiber towels, and 11-inch pads. A sanitation cart with a chemical sprayer, if you are not using a spray and vac method. These are some of the basic items you will need to start up your program. We were already using backpack vacuums in DCSD, so we didn't need to purchase any vacuums for our new program. But if you're not using backpack vacuums in your schools, we highly recommend them when cleaning for health and increasing worker productivity. Showing your employees that you're not just implementing a new system, but supporting them in the change by getting them the right tools for the job will increase morale and have employees more excited about the prospects of change. We recently started using spray and vac method this year and have had great results and have found this method to be far superior than previous methods by reducing the amount of cleaning time per fixture from 2 minutes per fixture to 1 minute per fixture. Most of the spray and vac units have many uses, not just for restrooms or kitchens, so I suggest working with vendors to have them demo the units. ICM is a great way to track results of cleaning and can actually be fun with employees. I've had many employees see me show up at night randomly for inspections and ask me to inspect their area. They like to compare results with each other. It's like a little competition. Whose area is the cleanest? Next slide. How to start training employees with process cleaning for healthy schools. First of all, be positive. As with the training in any cleaning program, it is an ongoing process. This is the same with process cleaning for healthy schools. But it is also very easy for employees to follow and retrain if needed. Run employees through a preliminary training if possible. If you start your program in the summer, I highly recommend do a preliminary walkthrough of the program with all your employees to kind of alleviate all their concerns and fears, and just walk them through the program. It's a great icebreaker and show the level of commitment that you have in helping them be successful with the program. And then when I went through the program, I let my staff know that as soon as school started, I would start going from school to school training each employee. Another thing is don't rush training. Good training is done in a low-pressure environment. Be consistent. Train everyone in the same process and procedures. Making sure not to make exceptions with the program is critical when implementing a new program. Make sure to indicate how important custodial is to the indoor environment to your staff, and that the best service we can provide to the students and staff is to remove the germs and viruses from the schools. We do that by cleaning in a more efficient manner and by following the same steps of a program, not by cleaning in their own way. The custodial staff needs to know that they are the first line of defense in protecting students and staff in schools, and that their job is really important and appreciated. Next slide. How long did training take? Once school started, I trained my biggest high school first with the help from Washoe County School District trainers. Then I was on my own. I spent an average of 3 to 6 nights with each employee at each site for training. The main thing I expressed to each of my employees was that we're not on a time limit for training. We will go through the training, and I will help them finish with their area the first few nights so we can have extra times for discussion of the process and to go over any concerns they may have. But basically, the training was over when they were not only following the process, but when they let me know that they felt really confident with the system, which was usually within the first 2 days. Usually after the third day, I would move on to another employee and follow up with the previous trainee. Before I would sign them off on training, I would let them know that I will be checking their logs and we will be meeting often to touch bases. I also let them know that if at any point they felt like they got out of sync and needed me to come back to spend some time with them, it was not a problem. It took me an entire year to train all 11 schools, 42 employees. This, of course, was included with the daily routine of a supervisor in charge of a department with all other aspects not including training. The training only took about 4 to 5 months of the school year and was a great success. Next slide. Benefits of process cleaning for healthy schools for the custodial staff. First of all, schools are visibly cleaner and better maintained. Process cleaning has brought some of our schools that needed some attention to a high level of cleanliness. The schools who were already clean have improved a lot also. All the schools are definitely more organized in their daily approach to cleaning, and they feel better about the job they are doing. Increased communication between departments and schools. By adding the custodial supervisor position to the maintenance department, we have seen an increase in communication between our department and all of the sites. Better equipment for custodial services to maintain the schools. Now that we are using the right equipment in our schools, we are saving a lot of money on wasted hours of labor that we used to spend by not having the right tool for the job. Increased morale for the entire department. Employees often tell me that they weren't sure when we first started this program how this was going to go, but now they really like the program, the tools, and how their area looks great. But most of all, they really care about making a difference in making the school safer for the staff and students of DCSD by reducing the germs and viruses. Everyone is on the same page. Now, even when a sub-custodian shows up to a site, they look in the closet and they know exactly what area they are doing by looking at the quad maps and fill out the logs exactly how the regular night custodians fill it out. Everybody has the exact same high level of standards that they have to follow and accountability. All the old problems that we used to have are solved. And in the morning, it's very easy to check to see if they're doing what they indicate on the service assessment log. Next slide. The impact our custodial restructure has had on our budget. DCSD has had an ongoing personnel savings in the 6 figures without layoffs of any full-time employees since the program started. A lot of people get nervous when they hear you saved X amount of dollars, and the first thought is how many people were laid off in the process. When we did our restructure, it created a domino effect through the department as a result of some promotions, resignations, and 3 new creative positions for full-time subs. Even with the 3 new creative positions and my positions being added, we saw the savings I indicated on the slide. You get the savings by being able to cover a lot more area as a custodian when following the process cleaning program and being able to make areas bigger and reducing staff. We have saved thousands of dollars in various products we purchase on a regular basis. Researching and looking at what the competing vendors have to offer in price comparisons is the key to saving money on all of this stuff. It does take time, but when we live in a time when every little bit counts, we have to do our part on products and pricing. We have organized our purchasing of chemical, soap, and paper products at all the sites, which we are seeing big savings as well. The chemicals were a big one for us, and it was all about the dilution ratio for us. We went from a disinfection product that dispensed out of a 2-liter bottle of 1:64 ratio to a less expensive disinfectant product that dispensed 1:256. We saved thousands of dollars on this change district-wide, and it was a more broad-spectrum disinfectant. Benefits of process cleaning. Next slide. Benefits of process cleaning for healthy schools for staff, students, and community. Once this program was in place, we immediately started getting positive feedback from teaching staff about how clean their rooms were. This generally included emails to me from teachers or site principals. Some of the veteran teachers were saying their room hasn't looked this good in 30 years. The custodians were doing a great job before, but when you have a program and a more organized approach to cleaning, results happen even in the most dedicated custodians area. Site administration and district office officials were getting a lot of great comments about how great our schools looked. Community members started making positive comments about how great the schools had been looking. The student surveys at the high school level started to climb dramatically in the first year after the system was implemented. This is a very important piece of information for us that the principal of our biggest high school shared with me. They do an anonymous student survey every year, probably like most schools do across the country. They ask several questions, some of them that pertain directly to cleaning, like, do you feel your school's clean and sanitary learning environment? Before we started process cleaning, we were in the 50th percentile. Our first year of process cleaning last year, we jumped up into 74%. This year, he made a point to let me know that we came out in an outstanding 87%. Absolutely incredible. Next slide. Process cleaning for healthy schools implementation recap. Approach Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools Consortium for all the details on how to successfully implement the program at your site. Talk to your district officials and board members about saving a considerable amount of money in organizing your custodial program. In tough economic times, it's hard for district officials to ignore the prospect of saving money and raising the bar. Take your time training and build good working relationships and high-quality professional cleaning workers. It's tough to find the time to do the training, but it's really important to everyone involved to have high-quality training and retraining often. I often look at almost every opportunity I show up on site with employees as a possible training opportunity, even when training isn't scheduled. Know that you will have as much ongoing support as you need from people who are implementing the program, and not just cleaning for appearance, but cleaning for health. One of the biggest support factors I had implementing this program, besides my own district officials, was that always being able to use Washoe County School District as a resource. Rex told me, I don't care if you have to call me 50 times a day, and I would say the same to anyone else who started implementing the program. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in today for the webinar, and thanks Mark and Rex and all of the sponsors, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much, Bill. We really appreciate your presentation. I think that was great. I just want to give a reminder to everybody that if your school or your school that you work at is changing to a green cleaning program, you have the opportunity to apply for the Green Cleaning Awards, which you can get to through asumag.com/green_cleaning. So we hope that you will take the opportunity to promote your good work this year. And we'd love to share all these success stories. Having said that, Alex, we're going to move into the Q&A section.
Great. So we've had a few questions come in through chat. Feel free to type in some more questions and send them our way. The first question we have is for either Rex or Bill. We have a question wanting to know if there's an aptitude test for the process cleaning system training.
No, not at all. We will be more than happy to come out. And process cleaning, first of all, is so basic and so simple. It's just remarkable how easy it is to follow and how easy it is to adopt to a school district. So we'd be happy to go out to any school district, anytime, anywhere, and as long as a person has a passion and a desire for cleaning healthy schools, we'll be more than happy to work with them.
Great, thanks Rex. And kind of building off of that, we have a question wanting to know if there's an online training or if individuals have to come to your school to get started, or kind of how you initiate that process of starting a healthy school or process clean for healthy schools program. Rex?
Yes. Well, preferably we fly out to you. You know, we offer a training program. We have no online training program at this time. We do offer a training program at different facilities, but the best way to learn process cleaning is in your environment. And so it's just a simple phone call away. You call us, we fly out, and we train you right on your own home turf, so it's comfortable and convenient for you. We set up a school district or a school of your choice, and so you're able to, when we leave, have a functioning school that is doing process cleaning and a trainer that's trained that he can leapfrog that program from the school that we set up to the other schools in your district.
Great, thank you. And another question is, do you have problems with spray and vac cleaning method in restrooms with drywall?
Well, I've had a lot of experience with that, and so has Bill. Bill, you might want to chime in on that. No, not at all. In fact, if you have drywall, you're just very careful where you spray. There may be some hand wiping involved, depending on how small the restroom is, especially if it's just a one toilet, one sink restroom. You might want to use some hand wiping as well as spray and vac. But as long as you're careful, you know, you point it and you put down your cleaning agent, and so just be careful, careful not to hit the wall when you're cleaning. I have no problems whatsoever. None.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, we have some bathrooms that do have drywall, poor design, long before we ever got there. And the main thing is just to be really careful. I mean, you can't just sit there and just spray the wall over and over again. And all of our custodians know that. And, yeah, as long as you're careful, it hasn't seemed to be a problem.
Great, thanks both of you. Another question we have, which either Rex or Bill can answer, do you have any health improvement data from your program, such as less visits to the school clinic, fewer absences, or lower sick days by employees?
I'll let you start with that, Bill, and then I'll chime in when you're done.
I'm working on the absenteeism. It's really hard to get that data at the moment because they only base it off the 100th day. And it looks like we are seeing a decrease in absenteeism of 1 or 2% at this point, but I'm still gathering the data on that now because we're only into our first year, and it only bases off the first 100 days. So I'm trying to find an actual better way to track that data, but yes, it does look like we're seeing a decrease in absenteeism.
And I'll finish by saying we were so excited. We, in the third year of our implementation program of process cleaning for healthy schools, we did an unofficial study, and we found a 6.5% increase in daily average attendance. What that translated out to mean is that if we can keep the kids in school 6.5% more than we did before, then that, as a custodian, we got a lot of pride in that. We felt that if they're in school longer, then it should translate into higher standardized testing scores. And so even a custodian, a frontline custodian, has a part in the educational system, and they, believe me, got very proud about that. And very bold about making that statement, that if we can keep the kids in school longer, we have a direct link to the educational process of our students, and so that was something that we were very proud of.
And Rex,
one thing that I want to touch on real quick about the absenteeism is it looked like last year we didn't have a rise in the absenteeism, and we got hit really hard with H1N1 in our school district. So I thought that was a really good indication that we're really doing a really good job, because I mean we had some schools that had, like, you know, at different times 120 some students out just for H1N1. So we got hit really hard last year, and it didn't seem like, when I looked at the you know, the beginning numbers of everything, that we really had numbers just dramatically, you know, increasing on the absenteeism. So I think it's a pretty good indication that we're making a difference.
And Rex, I'll also pipe in to say, if you are increasing, if your attendance numbers are going up, of course that also feeds back into reimbursements, because most schools get state funding through attendance level records. So the more students are in class, the greater the reimbursements from the state level funding is going to be.
Definitely. And one other thing I want to add, process cleaning for healthy schools addresses these touch points every night on a nightly basis. 100 schools in Washoe County every night. Every night, all door handles, all light switches, all telephones, and all student desktops. And I want to repeat that, all student desktops. That is the breeding ground right there. It's the desktop that student sits at all day long, are sanitized every night. And it's just part of our program, and so we're real diligent on that, and by doing that, we definitely can increase daily average attendance.
Great, thank you. We have a question that looks like it's a little more directed at Bill. The cost savings quoted were considerable, presumably in salaries and benefits, yet Bill said no layoffs were involved. Does this mean you moved positions around as people retired or got promoted?
Yeah, one of the promotions was myself, because I was a head custodian at our local high school, and I got promoted to the custodial supervisor, and that left an opening at the high school, and so on and so on. So that created a domino effect, and then the 3 positions that opened up were for full-time substitute custodians, 186-day a year that worked during the school year instead of 260-day custodians that worked through the summer. So a couple people got reduced in days, but none of our full-time people actually got reduced completely. And actually with process cleaning, with the great time assessment system that comes with it, I'm actually finding more savings going into it. I've found an actual reduction that could be made this summer and it was through attrition with somebody leaving. It wasn't, like I just made a reduction. And again, coming up again at the end of the summer where somebody left and I found another somewhere else where a reduction could be made. It's ongoing savings that you can find because you have a system to make the savings and you have time assessments that you can do to justify it. And it's always, the time assessments are always done in the custodian's favor, so it's really fair judgment. And since I did custodial work at the schools for 10 years before coming into this position, I know how long the areas take, so I know it's a really fair system.
And one thing I might add, too, is that we just finished up setting process cleaning for healthy schools up at a Lyon County school district, a fairly large school district, and they had just built a brand new middle school, a huge middle school. And they were able to staff that entire middle school with the staff reduction savings through process cleaning for healthy schools without hiring one person. So no one got laid off. They were able to staff an entire middle school with the savings. And so that was something that we were pretty proud of.
Great. Another question we have, it's great that you go to the schools and do the training there. Do you have a list of equipment and supplies that a school district should have ready on hand for your arrival?
What we like to do is come out. We can provide that, but we like to come out and do a 2-day assessment of the entire district. Then we provide for them what investment cost per equipment they're going to need, what it's going to be. And we have a 5-school startup package. We work with our different machinery vendors, and they're able to give a discounted price from time to time on our first 5-school startup package. So we do provide that, and it has every bit of the equipment and products that they're going to need to set up the system.
Great, thank you.
Our hour is actually up right now, but we still have a number of questions that are outstanding. So I would like to ask a quick question. If everyone who's out there would be willing to spend a few more minutes, if you'd just like to take a moment and answer a poll, we're happy to extend this a few moments. We just want to get your feedback before we do so. Wow, we're getting quick feedback. A few people do have to run, but let me close the poll in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like a 41% say you're able to say 10 minutes, 30% say 15 minutes. So I hope if it's all right with our speakers that we spend a few more minutes getting through more questions, because it looks like we'll have a few people that have to leave, and we appreciate your attendance. We're going to try to stick around a little longer. Is that all right, Rex and Bill?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful. So let's keep going through a few more minutes.
Okay, so we have one more question. What percentage reduction in ATP number levels are being achieved from the spray and vacuum process? And what is the highest ATP value that is acceptable for a sanitized surface? I know this is a pretty specific question, but maybe if you if our speakers have a general idea of the % reduction in ATP number levels. That would be great if you could share.
Well, we found it. This is Rex. We found drastic reductions in APT levels. The minimum that of course I am a perfectionist, and so the minimum that I'd like to see is 0. You know, and we want to get as close to 0 as we possibly can. And it depends what method you're using. We found when we use spray and vacuum technology, we were finding numbers in the hundreds, reduced down to numbers as low as 0, 6, 8, 10. It is just a dramatic difference from hand cleaning. You just cannot reach those numbers by hand cleaning. There's nothing better than washing something off a wall down to the floor and vacuuming it up. Are the numbers 0? It really doesn't matter, because if you take bacterium from an environment and you take it away from an environment, whether you put it down a drain or whatever, as long as it's removed from that environment and that environment is down to the lowest possible number, then you've done your job. We're custodians. We're not exterminators. We're removers. And so what we want to do is we want to remove bacterium from a surface, take it out of the environment, and dispose of it because that's our job.
Great, thank you. Another question we have is, does the 1 minute in a restroom per fixture include travel from restroom to restroom, refilling dispensers, sweeping litter, and trash removal?
Do you want to answer that, Bill, and I'll chime in on that?
Yeah, most of that stuff is done with the primary and the vacuuming part of process cleaning. So all that's done before you even get to the restroom. And I'll tell you what, my employees love that. They don't like to have to do that stuff at the end of the night. And restrooms are set up for the end of the night because, for one, you don't want to be doing restrooms with people in the restrooms. And one of the main things is it takes a while after you do a restroom for the indoor air quality to get back to normal. And you just don't want the slip and fall hazards and things like that. But yeah, to tell you that most of that stuff, the stocking can get done at that time, but the sweeping of the floor, we usually backpack the floors, and the trash and everything's done with the primary. And when you're going around with the primary part of process cleaning, you basically do, because your restrooms are done at the end of the night, you do a quick trash, flush the toilets, check the floor. That way the bathrooms are presentable until you have time to clean them later. That way if you have the public there or somebody there, and of course if there's a major mess in there, then you got to do something. But you want to have everything presentable until you can get there later to clean them, because if you clean the bathrooms when you're first there, then they're going to be dirty by the time you get out of there later at night. So that's why we do them last.
That was a good answer, Bill. I don't even think I need to add anything to that.
Related to that, we did have one question. Could either of you define what you mean when you say fixture?
Yes, I'll do that. This is Rex. I mean anything made out of porcelain. So that would be a sink, a toilet, or a urinal. And when we say we can clean with spray and vac technology a restroom at 1 minute a fixture, all the other things are added into that. So in other words, if you have 10 fixtures in your restroom and you're hand cleaning, it takes you 20 minutes, 2 minutes a fixture. With spray and vac, it'll take you 10 minutes, and that includes emptying the trash, stocking the paper. That includes every aspect of cleaning that restroom. You can do that in just going to your restroom, adding up your porcelain fixtures, adding 1 minute to your fixture, and you're done. So if you have a custodian using a spray and vac restroom cleaning machine, and you can go into a restroom, you can, as a manager, you can count up the fixtures, and you can say to yourself with confidence that that custodian could clean that restroom if there's 10 fixtures in 10 minutes.
Great, thanks, Rex. Another question we have is, with the spray and wash method, it seems there would be quite a bit more water used. How has water usage changed for the school district, and how has that impacted cost of water bills?
Well, I think it's a trade-off. You're using a lot less chemical, and actually, I don't think you're using that much more water, because if you take a 5-gallon old standard mop bucket with a string mop and you do a restroom, you pour that water out and you fill it up to do another restroom, so you're not cross-contaminating. I would say that it comes out to about a wash. It's about equal.
Except that you're not using dirty water to mop the floor with.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as you dip that mop in the mop bucket, that's it. It's you dip it once, you get it on that floor, you dip it again, it's contaminated. And you're always using clean water with the spray and vac system. It's a cleaner way to do it, and it comes out with better results.
Great, thank you. Another question we have, I noticed activated water was mentioned as a tool. Can either of you speak a little bit about your experience with this process?
Yeah, Bill, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I started using activated water last year in a couple of my schools, just trying it out. And I'm a big believer in soil removal, and I'm also a big believer in not leaving chemical residue on the desktops when disinfecting, and I'm more about sanitizing the desktops. And so we started using activated water, and now I'm going to be using it in all our schools this year and working it into our Process Cleaning for Healthy Schools program. And basically, it's just part of the process. We'll be spraying down the desktops with that and then removing it with the dry microfiber afterwards. And by doing that, instead of using like a disinfectant to wipe on the desktops and leaving the residue to air dry, we're actually spraying the desktops with activated water, which loosens soil, and it also kills most of the germs. And then we're removing with the dry microfiber, which will remove a lot. Microfibers pull a lot of the soil and everything out. So we're removing a lot of the soils, and we're sanitizing the desktops at the same time. And we're using it on all the doorknobs and all the touch points that we normally do, and we're able to fit it into our program nicely. So that's how we're using it now. And I've actually done a lot of the hygiene measurements with our system, and I'm actually finding that I'm not having any difference from using the disinfectant as the hygiene measurements and the activated water. It's actually becoming less, and my own theory on it is that when you're using water, you're constantly rinsing the surface off, and when you're using a dry microfiber, you're removing more off the surface than when you use a wet microfiber that's always just kind of smearing it around. So that's why I'm believing that I'm actually doing a better process that way. So that's why I started using the activated water.
Great, thanks, Bill. Another question we have is, what disinfectant do you use in your spray and vac process?
Okay, I can answer that. We use a disinfectant. I don't want to get into any brand names. It's called Kaboom. You can look it up. But we also use a lot of steam vapor. Steam vapor is a great way to kill germs and viruses and not leave any residue behind, any chemical residue behind. And so we use a combination of steam vapor, disinfectant, and sanitation products. I guess that'd be about all I'd have to say on that.
Great. I want to thank everybody. We're actually about 10 minutes after the hour, and I think we have so many questions. We're going to go for 5 more minutes. So we'll try to answer as many as we can. So for those of you who have to go, thank you again for attending. But let's just do 5 more minutes of Q&A.
Great. To Bill or Rex, can you provide more detail on the logs and quad maps you spoke about? And also a little more information on how you incorporate ICM measurements into your program.
Yes, I'll answer that. The logs are so simple. They're just they're about 12 or 15 little boxes, and we want you to tell us what you did in your deep cleaning quad area. And so all you do is check a box. It's written in Spanish and English. It's very, very simple. There's no writing involved. Anyone can do it. So what you did in your deep cleaning, if you dusted, we want you to check the box that say dusted. And so you can, now a manager can manipulate that and say, these are the things you need to do. We require that you check at least 3 boxes a night. And then a quad map, all it is your area divided into 4 parts, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday is color-coded blue, there's a blue area. Tuesday's green, there's a green area. Wednesday's yellow, there's a yellow area. And Thursday is pink, and there's a pink area. So you know exactly where your area is. Now you check the boxes, what you did in that area, and now the daytime custodian can come in the morning. He can see where you did it and what you did. Very, very simple, but it is a wonderful documentation process and accountability tool. Because if you said you did it and you checked the box and you wrote it down, then you're accountable. And so it is checked, and everything is fine.
And just to touch on that too, when in my position, custodial supervisor of 11 schools, I can actually go a day or 2 later and go to any of the schools that I have, go pick up the binder, the service assessment log, and say it's on a Wednesday, and go over and look for Tuesday night and go, okay, well, and it's also to check up on your school managers too, your head custodians, because if they sign off on it, and they say that the custodian that they checked did the work, then you're also checking up on them. So I go to the school and I go, okay, well, this person said they did this, and you signed it off. Let's go check it out. And we go check out the area. We look at the quad map, and they were scheduled for these 5 or 6 rooms to do the dusting, and they said they wiped cabinets down and that they cleaned the clocks or something else in the room, just anything randomly that they had in there. So we go down there and we check out the room, and they dusted the room, they wiped down the cabinets, and they did the clocks. So now my night custodian is doing his work, and my head custodian is also doing his work by signing them off. Now if I go down there and the night custodian wasn't doing his work and the head custodian signed him off saying he was doing his work, then you instantly can tell. It's real easy to check up on people, and you can do it randomly at any site at any time, and they all know it too. Every employee knows because you explain it to them during the training, and they all know that you can check up at any time, and it's random, and if you don't show up for 4 months, they better be on cue because you could be there at any moment.
Great, thanks, Bill. Another question is, do you have color-coded microfiber cloths for different surfaces and preventing cross-contamination?
I do, yes.
Yes, absolutely. We use a different color, not only cloth, but we use microfiber pull pad mopping too to do the ergonomically. It's much more friendly to take a pull mop and disinfect or sanitize student desktops, where a cloth you're bending down and you're waxing on and waxing off. With a pull, you can stand up straight, so it's ergonomically friendly. And you can hit a lot of your flat surfaces that way. So and they are color-coded. We use a different color for flat surfaces than we do, for instance, whiteboards or blackboards or restrooms or whatever. So yeah, we use color-coded.
Great, thanks so much. Another question, how often do you empty and change your backpack vacuum filters?
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay.
You go.
I require it every night for my guys with the backpack, or as they get filled. We do it, and then usually 4-hour employees, I have it every other night. But it just depends. If it starts getting full, all schools are different. Some elementary schools have a ton of grass, coming in, especially certain times of the year, and they may, once a night may not be enough. They may have to do it more than that. Some schools have a ton of sand coming in. It's mainly the elementaries, and some schools, when the weather gets bad and you got ice melt coming in, it just depends. We have a lot of kind of inclement weather here where we live, so we can have a lot of extreme stuff going on. But generally it's once a night, and we usually change the bags.
Great, thanks. Okay, we are going to take one final question, And the question is, you mentioned disinfecting desktops every day. Isn't this overkill? Are there less toxic methods to improving hygiene?
Well, we sanitize our desktops every night. I like to use a green product when I sanitize a desktop, and no, it's not overkill at all. You get a student that sits at that desk for 8 hours, that desk's going to get built up with bacteria and viruses, and it's very important that every night you disinfect or sanitize using a green cleaner, a student desktop, a door handle, a light switch, and a telephone. I absolutely believe it's not overkill. I wish we had time to do it 2 or 3 times during the day, but we don't. So once a night is, to me, minimum.
Great, thank you.
I'll touch on that for a second. And even with us going to the activated water for sanitizing the desktops every night, it's really good. But if it ever comes down to something, impetigo or some really bad stuff coming through the classrooms, we won't hesitate to go back to a broad spectrum disinfectant as that's going through the classroom in the certain ones, because you have to cover all bases. And but I think on a regular basis, I think using a really heavy duty disinfectant might be too much in a classroom all the time. I don't think it's necessary. I think that looking for a way to sanitize the desktops as opposed to disinfecting, and looking for more green-friendly products, and worry more about soil removal and cleaning properly in a more efficient manner is more important. But that's my
and I agree with you, Bill.
That's where I'm heading. So.
Great, fantastic. So we are going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody who was able to hang on with us for those extra 15 minutes and for all the excellent questions you sent in. And to Rex and Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to share this information with us. Fantastic webinar, and we really appreciate your time and expertise. So thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks,
and if there are any other questions you'd like to email me, you can email me at rexmorrison@att.net. And I'll be happy to answer your questions.
All right. Thank you so much.